Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Storytime series. In this series, we talk about all of the things that we have been through in relation to colorism, texturism, featureism, or the resentment that comes from those things. One thing that I've noticed as this channel continues to grow is people think that I only talk about colorism. This channel talks about colorism, texturism, featureism, and we also have women of all shades on this channel. I've noticed that the unambiguous black women don't want to acknowledge the fact that you can be dark skinned and still benefit from texturism or featureism. So I've noticed that in their attempts to invalidate my channel, they're trying to invalidate the fact that I have thousands of dark skinned women who follow this channel. It's very difficult to call someone colorist if they've got thousands of dark skinned people who are saying that they've experienced the same thing as the light skinned women. So I just want to make that clear that we have plenty of dark skinned women on here who have gone through the same othering that light skinned black women have gone through and that mixed women have gone through. But today's story time is about a darker skinned Ethiopian girl. And we all know that dark skinned exoticals are usually the standard of dark skinned unambiguous black beauty. And then people will get mad at them and then they'll turn around and say, well, you're only considered pretty because you're benefiting from texturism and featureism. And so they get othered in the same way as lighter skinned women do with their skin tones. But this girl says, I wanted to share an experience about an unambiguous black woman's obsession with me, a brown skinned Ethiopian exotical. I have attached a picture of a Pinterest model who resembles me for reference. A dark skinned, unambiguous black woman colleague recently became fixated on whether my hair is real. I have 3B to 3C big, long natural hair, but I often wear clip ins or V part wigs for extra volume. During a recent elevator ride, she intensely stared at my scalp, seemingly determined to find lace or tracks. This isn't an isolated incident. Many dark skinned, unambiguous black women seem desperate to verify if my hair is real, which makes me uncomfortable. I am not insecure about wearing extensions as they match my natural hair texture. However, it does make me uncomfortable because it makes me feel like they're sizing me up. That's exactly what it is. Has anyone noticed that whenever someone is like giving you a death stare, usually that's exactly what they're doing? They're trying to compare themselves to you, or they may be trying to find flaws, or they're trying to find something that they have on you, like, oh, yes, she has acne. Okay, so now I feel better about myself. That's exactly what they're doing. But she says, it makes me feel like they're trying to size me up or trying to find a flaw in me, which is strange because these same unambiguous black women wear bone straight European looking wigs and weaves 24/7. At lunch, she talked about dating and men, despite being in a relationship with a dark skinned, unambiguous black man. She used many black women empowerment slash divester talking points. I shared that I prioritize hypergamous dating, aiming for a financially stable partner since I am also on a successful path. Once I said that, she started to go on about how most black men are broke and successful black men are self hating and only prefer light skinned or non black women. Have you ever noticed that a lot of unambiguous women, they'll try to make dark skinned exoticals feel excluded because of their skin tone? They want you to feel the same rejection that they feel based on their skin tone. But my theory is that dark skinned black women are not as insecure about just their skin tones. I actually think that the deepest rooted insecurities have more to do with hair texture and facial features. But I've noticed that's the number one humbling tactic against a darker skinned exotical. They'll say, well, you're not light skinned, or, well, your light skinned friend, she's going to get picked before you. And then they'll do the same thing with us light skins. They'll say, oh, your friend who's white passing, she's high yellow and you're dark yellow, or, you're light brown and she's the real light skin. So they're always going to try to triangulate us against one another because they want us to stay divided. They want us to feel the isolation and rejection that they're already feeling in society. And I know this isn't all unambiguous women, but women who make comments like that, that's what they're trying to do. They want you to feel like you're alone and isolated because that's how they feel in comparison to you. But she says, although I'm not against swirling, I do prefer black men. I found it weird as to why she would try and knock down my hypergamous aspirations with marrying a black man by saying the rich ones only want light-skinned women. As an Ethiopian who's brown skinned due to me benefiting from texturism and featureism, I've never had any issues dating successful, attractive black men. They have never once made me feel inadequate because I'm not a light-skinned exotical. I suspect my coworker was trying to humble me. Am I overreacting? Yeah, she was definitely trying to humble you. And I've noticed that if you're a dark skinned woman who benefits from a lot of pretty privilege, maybe you don't have a lot of problems with dating or hypergamy or whatever. I've noticed that other dark skinned women, they will try to blame their dating problems on their dark skin tone. And I'm telling you, usually it's not their dark skin that is holding them back from dating. Usually it's some other quality. But if you share that dark skin tone with them, then they can't use the dark skin as an excuse. And so this is why they will try to bring it up like, oh, wait, but they're not going to like you either. How dare I be dark skinned and you're also dark skinned and then you get pretty privilege and I don't? That's really the mindset. And so I've noticed there is a special type of jealousy that some dark skinned women have against other dark skinned women who have the pretty privilege. And then they will try to say things like, oh, you're just a token. Or they will say, you're second best. He doesn't actually want you. He actually wants someone lighter. But then if you're light skinned, then they'll say to the light skins, oh, he doesn't actually want you. He wants someone who's white. And so, no matter what, you're never good enough. They're trying to get you to feel that sense of rejection. And a lot of women have tried to blame their dating failures on their dark skin tone. And I tell people on this channel all the time there are plenty of dark skinned women who have just as much pretty privilege as light skinned women. They have just as much pretty privilege as biracials. They have just as much pretty privilege as any non black woman, or, they can date whoever they want. And have you also noticed, even when it comes to divestors, they will show these images of women who are dark skinned with these non black men. But those dark skinned women, they had pretty privilege. So they were already pretty. They could have got whatever man they wanted, whether he was black, white, or anything in between. So that's actually proof that it's not the dark skin that was holding those women back from dating. But no, you're not overreacting. She was definitely trying to humble you. She wanted you to feel inadequate because of your skin tone. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.